Okay, everyone sit the fuck down because I've got shit to say this week. Everyone gather around, please. Please. What the fuck is up?
Hello. I've just woken up.
I feel like I'm going to crash after this.
But I washed my hair.
I mean, stunning. Gorgeous.
I'm exhausted.
You didn't just wash it, you full styled it.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Damn.
I need like a fucking 6-hour nap. I tell you what.
Today
drained me.
Didn't you just sleep for hours?
Yeah, but it's not enough.
Oh, okay. My bad. I feel like
Gotta keep going.
I went home. I cleaned. When I say cleaned,
God, how?
I vacuumed, and then I watched 2 things.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm like
this, jittering.
I'm gonna do the podcast with my eyes closed.
You can do it. I've done it before.
Yeah, but I'll fall asleep. I'll have like those glasses that Homer Simpson has when he's in court and it's got the eyes drawn on. That'll be me.
Don't worry. I think I've got enough to say that I could just run the whole podcast by myself.
Yeah, I'd love that.
But then in the clips, I'll still cut to you.
Yeah, and it's just me like this. Or doing the thing like when you're in the car, like your head falls forward.
You knock the whole thing over.
Carnage.
Oh,
diabolical.
Fuck. Okay.
No, shut up. Me first. Everyone, look at my Halloween shorts.
Nice.
And my green socks.
No, where are the socks from?
They came for free with the outfit. I also got a jumper and it's white and it's got purple writing and it says naps, and then on the S is a witch's hat.
Nice.
Very festive. 'Tis the season. But I thought I'd get too hot wearing that today. So you get half of the outfit and then I'll hard launch the second half.
Nice. What's the AJ for though?
What AJ?
Or is that, what is that?
AJ Tracy Live and Direct. No, it's an N.
Oh, okay.
N for Neapolitan. Napoleon. That's the brand, everyone. Damn. Don't ask me to do brand deals ever because I won't say your name properly.
Neapolitan. Cute though.
Yeah, I love them. I'm obsessed. It's got cats, spider webs.
You're stretching them into pants.
A little goose. A pantaloon.
Stop. No, remember when boys used to wear those denim shorts that would go like halfway down their shin?
They still do.
Yeah, okay.
They're jorts.
No, but it's like it was different back anyway, whatever. My story now.
No, not yet. And the Velcro wallet that would be attached to a chain.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. With what brand were they? Dada or something? Do you remember that?
Fucking Dada. Yeah, I think so.
Like the silky fucking Dada
Silky?
shirts?
I remember like the fucking, like the jersey kind of situation, like a singlet. Yeah.
Nah, it was like, nah.
No?
Was it? I found it. Everyone shut up.
Show me immediately.
This was like, it was like but it was like this silky
they're
shiny.
Back in. They're fucking back in, man.
Dude.
We should get some. That should be my DJ name, DJ Dada.
Dude, I wanted Dada so bad when I was in school. Whatever. I'm so glad that I didn't get it.
It was a Dada. It was a Furby. A Care Bear.
And I also really wanted a Tamagotchi when I was really young, and I didn't get one. So then as soon as I started making money, I bought one. And then I played it for like a day, and I was like, this is shit.
And I'm done.
Yeah, I was like, hated this. Okay, sick of you talking. My turn. So, before we kick off, I just think that this is funny. I feel stupid saying it now.
No, say it.
So this morning,
it's a safe space.
We went for coffee after Pilates.
Oh.
And we'd ordered our coffees, and we're sitting there waiting for them to like call out our coffee order.
Where's that?
To go. And I'm showing Danika on my phone the Chicken Date Shop interview with Andrew Garfield, and I'm showing her, and she goes, "That's you, doll." And I went, "Oh, really? You think that me and Andrew Garfield?" And she goes, "No, they're calling you."
They're like yelling Caitlin's name, and I'm like, "Doll, that's you." And she's like, and I'm like, "No, doll, it's like it's you." And she's like, "Oh fuck, I thought you meant that Andrew Garfield would date me." And I was like, "Get your fucking order."
I was so embarrassed. Whatever. I watched more clips of it.
I'm obsessed.
Dude,
They need to boo us.
I didn't
they
give a
need
shit
to
about Andrew Garfield until I watched that.
They need to fucking boo us.
Yeah.
I love them.
How does she not fall in love with them all?
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be acting by any means. I'd be like, or what if she doesn't like someone that comes on? How are you meant to fake flirt with someone?
I think that, like, is where her type of humor comes in, though, because, like, she's very just dry.
Yeah.
So I feel like if she wasn't into someone, she'd be the exact same.
I hope everyone's enjoying listening to us drink as well. Okay, where do we want to start?
Where do you want to start? I have no thoughts.
What thoughts do you have?
I'll say them as they come.
Okay.
As I always do.
Okay, well, everyone fucking, like...
Dogs out.
Dogs are out. I have so
Spread
much...
them. Spread them. Ah! Yeah.
No. Fuck, this episode's gonna be shit. I'm like buzzing. I've had too much caffeine today. Okay, I watched Sweet Bobby today.
Oh, so we're just completely gonna destroy our system of things.
No, because I thought about this on the drive over, and I'm in such a mood. We have to start on a high, and we can talk about the sad stuff at the end.
Okay, all right. Okay,
we're not starting the episode on a sad note, everyone. I've got shit to say. Okay, so I watched.
We're ending it on a downer. That kind of sucks.
I can't talk about the sad stuff in this kind of mood, though.
That might bring you down, though.
And then I'm going to be fucking depressed all episode. Okay,
that
you
might
talk
level,
about the sad
that
stuff.
might
then.
level it out. All right, everyone, prepare to cry. When was it?
It was Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
Yeah.
I get a DM from Caitlin, and she sends me a link to like a Brazilian news article, and it's all in Spanish, and it's got Liam Payne's face on the front, and a word that starts with M, which I assumed was murder, and I was like, "¿Qué pasa?" What?
Sorry, it's not funny. It's not funny.
What do you mean? And then I check my like Twitter feed, and there's all these posts about like Liam Payne dying.
But it's all in Spanish. Like, so I woke up Thursday morning, and I go on Twitter. Like, it's the first thing
religiously.
I do.
Yeah, it's like reading the newspaper.
I read one passing tweet that said, like, there's no way that Liam Payne's dead.
Yeah.
And this is at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So then I search. I go to search Liam Payne. He's trending. I click on it. It's all in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I'm like clicking on a few of them, translating them. And it's like Liam Payne's, what the fuck, Liam Payne died. Liam Payne's dead. Rah, rah. Then people started posting videos of them watching the news in Spanish. And it's like, you know when they split the screen and half of it is like a photo of Liam Payne and half of it is like of a hotel. And I'm like, what the fuck? At that point, I was like, nah, there's no way that this is fake. Like, this is on the news. Like, surely there's no way that, like...
They'd have to confirm it before it went.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I sent it to you. Then the next person I text was our friend Nicole, because I texted her and I said, Liam Payne's dead, question mark, question mark, question mark. Because the night before... when I was at netball, she tried to call me and I texted her. I'm like, I'm netball. Tried to call her back afterwards. She couldn't answer. So she texted me and she said, oh, I was just calling you to talk about like the Liam Payne stuff that you guys spoke about on the podcast last week.
Fucking spooky timing, by the way.
Because like she wanted to talk about like another girl that we know who had been messaging him like years ago. I don't think it was recently. Where is the messages? Yeah, she goes, oh my God, sorry, was playing softball, was just ringing to discuss the pod and bleep getting message from Liam Payne. Critical detail. Then Thursday morning, I go, all of Argentina is claiming Liam Payne died in Argentina. Look at Twitter. And she goes, what the fuck? And so I sent her a video recording of my phone going through Twitter and like clicking on them and translating them. And let me bring it up. What did they say? It was like... One Direction singer Liam Payne has just jumped from a 3rd floor apartment because his girlfriend allegedly cheated on him. Like, there was all these rumors.
Yeah.
Because it was so early.
Yeah.
And she goes, what the fuck? I'm so scared. And then she starts looking at it. She starts sending me stuff. And then at... what time was it? It was 8 something. 8:11 a.m. Pop Base tweeted... Liam Payne, former One Direction member, has died at the age of 31 after falling from a hotel balcony, TMZ reports. And that's when I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, it's real.
Yeah. And then, like, TMZ was slimy as fuck.
Yeah.
And dropped the news. And then to kind of almost prove that it was credible, they posted cropped photos of Liam's body in the article, which was fucked up.
You could see
it was like his
left
the side
hip.
of his torso, yeah, and his arm as well.
And his arm.
Yeah.
Out like that. Because they were like, it's him, these are his tattoos.
Yeah.
Which was like fucking so weird.
Yeah.
And so then I posted it to our Instagram story. And I'm just constantly refreshing Twitter because I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? And then like everyone that we knew started getting the news, and it was so surreal.
Yeah.
Like it still doesn't feel real. Like,
no,
what do you mean?
It's, like, the timing of it is insane because we were literally only talking about the stuff that was like surfacing last week.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so glad that we didn't cut any clips and post them from last week's episode about what we said. Not because I still stand by what we said. Like, what we said doesn't change.
no.
But I'm like, just knowing our luck, it would have been picked up for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it would have been like ill taste to clip it now. But like I'm sad about it happening, and I feel like I'm more sad about the fact that he clearly needed help and he didn't get it. But I'm also feeling very conflicted because, like, knowing what I know about him. You know what I mean? Like, all of this stuff coming out about, like, him being a bit questionable with fans and, like, quote unquote preying on them because he knows that they'll be loyal. It's just, like, I can be sad and I can be, like, you know, conflicted about it as well. I think
Yeah, and I think
they can coexist.
I think most older fans are of the same, like, headspace. Whereas, because, like, you know, One Direction was such a huge part of our lives.
But it also feels like, yeah, like a part of my childhood died.
But I feel like...
Not even my childhood, though. Like,
like
growing up.
Yeah, I see Liam. I see 3 different Liams, right?
Yeah.
So you've got One Direction Liam.
Yeah.
Then you've got, like, afterwards...
Strip it down, Liam.
Yeah, strip it down, Liam.
Yeah.
And then you've got drug addict.
Yeah.
Clearly needs help.
Yeah.
Fucking Logan Paul interview.
Yeah.
Liam, right? They're the 3 Liams in my head. But, like, I don't think people understand how big One Direction was. Like, not just to us, but to so many other fans. And, like, if you weren't in it, you just don't get it. Like,
No,
from 2010 until about 2015, that was my whole life. My whole life.
My walls were just posters, newspaper, magazine pages. Yeah. Like,
but my whole life was dedicated to. I got Twitter because of One Direction. That's
same.
the whole reason I got it. My whole life was dedicated to posting about them, researching about them. At one point, if you asked me at any point where in the world is One Direction, I would have been able to tell you.
Yeah.
Because that's how fucking obsessed with it I was. And then we obviously met heaps of people because of it. Like, if you think about it, when you and I first met at Factory, we only had 2 things in common. One was that we both worked at Factory, and the other was that we loved One Direction.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. If One Direction didn't exist, we probably wouldn't be here right now.
No, because I'd be like, I don't know how to speak to you. Like, what do you mean you don't read after?
Yeah.
Like, it's that
after
simple.
doesn't exist. Yeah.
Like, people don't get it. And, like, I think people sometimes think, wow, well, it's a bit obsessive. Or, you know, camping out the front of someone's hotel. That's a bit crazy. How is that fun? It was the best time of my life. Like, it really was. Yeah, it was a bit batshit crazy. I remember one time.
It's no different to how men are with athletes, though.
No, I agree, yeah. I know.
Be fucking for real.
I remember their last tour that they did in Australia. Did you go to the private airport? I definitely went with Manuel.
I don't think so.
Anyway, I remember spending hours at the private airport hoping that they would come in. They never came because they fucking FIFO'd it.
Secret, yeah.
They came in like just before the concert and then left straight away. I think that. I remember Harry came separate. Oh no, this was the 2013 one. And they were staying in the Barossa. And I waited at the airport because I knew Harry Styles was coming. But I had work that day.
That's right.
And I had to leave work. And so I didn't get to like see Harry Styles. Then I went to the Barossa. I skipped my accounting exam. Right? Went to the Barossa with Brooke. Didn't get to meet them. But the closest I got was sitting at the lights at Jepp's Cross. And they were right next to us. And
Wild.
it was Harry and Zayn in the van that was right next to us, and I'm literally leaning across Brooke. She's driving. I'm leaning across the car, yelling at them to wind down their window. They couldn't. It's a fucking van. The windows were like
open.
no, and they were like pointing at the window, and I'm like, wind down the window. Anyway, didn't get to meet them when they came out at the Novotel because I fucking ran out of fuel the next day. Like, didn't have enough fuel to go back. You went to the Arias?
Yeah, with Brooke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Slept on the floor
Yeah.
of a street to
Yeah.
meet One Direction.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh my God. Being that fucking close to them, that fucking trip was wild. Couldn't tell you a thing that happened, but I mean, I had a fun time. Five Sauce were there.
Oh my God.
Katy Perry.
We saw Five Sauce and One Direction perform together in on the
Unreal.
Oz tour.
Unreal.
The first ever Oz tour that they did in 2012.
McBusted as well. Don't forget McBusted.
Oh my God, stop. They did a tour. Their first ever tour was 2012. I think it was. Yeah, April 2012. And I managed to get a single ticket. Mum managed to get a single ticket
This
to
was
the Melbourne
straight
show.
after your back surgery,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I had back surgery 6 days prior. Got up. Nothing has made me want to be more physically active than when my surgeon said you are not flying to Melbourne unless you prove that you can be mobile.
You were like, bet.
So I'm doing fucking laps.
You're doing
of the-
somersaults across the
I'm
fucking...
like running down the hallways of St Andrew's Hospital. Flew to Melbourne, went to the concert by myself and stood in my seat going like this, but I couldn't jump because my back still was like recovering. So I'm just going like this at the crying.
So you are now, doll.
Yeah, literally. Like, One Direction's just, it's everything.
One Direction changed my life. Like it, if you think of like pivotal moments in my life, getting into One Direction is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Like majority of the people that are in my life right now and that I'm still friends with are people that I've met through One Direction.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Riddle me that. Like the best
Yeah.
networking platform I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what happened to the 12-hour stream? I remember
Yeah. One D-Day.
being
Yeah.
glued to that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was huge. I have watched someone else's child, Lux, grow up from an actual infant
Yeah.
to now being a teenager. I don't know
Yeah.
this person, but I
Unreal.
knew everything about Lux.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Like, it's just surreal to think one of them is now dead.
It's insane. It's so, so sad. And oh my God, when the boys posted
Yeah, Louis was
better-
the
oh my
Louis and
God.
Zane's.
the one about being an uncle, shut the fuck
I know.
up. I'm like,
I
I need
know.
bereavement leave, actually.
Do you know what did get me though?
Oh, God.
I was scrolling on Twitter today, and fucking video. So Liam's dad's over there at the moment, and he went to the like fan or the like memorial thing,
Yeah.
and fucking Paul's his bodyguard.
Oh.
And I was like, nah,
Stop.
done.
See ya.
That's-
Bye.
That is my 13th reason.
Gotta go.
Like, I can't.
GTG.
Like for those who don't know, Paul was their bodyguard
Yeah.
back in One Direction. Was a
Yeah.
huge part of their life.
Mm.
Fans loved Paul. Paul was the good bodyguard. He was like the
Paul was
nice
cool.
bodyguard. And now here he is being a bodyguard for Liam's dad as he has to
God.
like fly his son's fucking body home.
Oh, that sucks.
Isn't that wild?
That fucking sucks.
Like Eleanor Calder posted
Oh, God.
to her story today. Perry cancelled her BBC One performance.
Wow. Cheryl made a post as well.
Yeah. It's just fucking surreal.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, like I said, everything that we said last week, it still stands. None of that changes. But like we said, One Direction, a huge part of our lives, and is just such a huge part of who we are. You can't not be sad.
Tell your friends you love them.
Yeah.
And if they look like they're struggling, reach out is all I'm saying on that.
And to anyone who's fucking attacking...
You're okay. I like you.
Don't make it weird. To anyone who's being a dick to Maya Henry, his ex-fiancée, that was coming out with her story, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, it's not her fault. It had nothing to do with her.
No. And she has every right to tell her story when, like, at any time that she's ready to
exactly. This man, like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this was highly likely going to happen regardless of what Maya Henry said, because this man clearly had a severe drug problem and was in such a psychosis, he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah. And then the autopsy got released, and apparently, like, when he fell, he was either subconscious or fully unconscious.
Yeah, because he was, like, in a relaxed...
Yeah.
None of his reflexes kicked in.
Yeah.
So that's terrifying. But, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else to say.
No, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I think that's really all for celebrity news this week.
I mean, it's the only celebrity news that I've followed.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And then the fact that, like, the first reunion we get, or potentially the only reunion we get, is at the funeral.
Yeah, like all of them being in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh my God, what's even sadder is the fact that Liam was in Argentina to go to Niall's show.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye. Bye.
If only he had gone home with Kate. If he had just gone home and not extended his trip, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No.
And this is what I mean. Like, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I will say, if that was Harry, I would have taken fucking 2 weeks off work.
You'd be inconsolable.
I couldn't cope. People at work were like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, like, it's sad. But I'm okay. But if that was Harry, no.
Yeah.
No hope.
Fair.
You'd be putting me in a fucking straitjacket.
Yeah, fair. Oh my God, you know how we caught up with Stuart this week? You know what he gave me? Fucking, he's like, this has been sitting in my room for the last 5 years. The 2020 Rolling Stones magazine with Harry on the cover. This is iconic.
That's so random.
Yeah, I love it. I love that he got it for me. What a hero. Cool. All right, Sweet Bobby, let's go.
Okay, back to Sweet Bobby. Okay, so I have just...
Do you feel more mellowed out now?
I do, but I feel
good.
like I'm not going to be as entertaining now.
No, it's fine. You'll get riled up again once you start telling the story, because it's crazy. Like I've been saying since 2021.
And poor listeners, I come in guns blazing. Then we're like, let's just fucking crash the mood for a second.
No, it's fun. It's like a roller coaster.
Okay. So I realized that Sweet Bobby was out, and I was like, fuck, let me try and binge watch this. It's a like film. It's not a series.
Oh, it's a film.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Netflix or doco film.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see if I can watch this entire thing before we record. Managed to do it. Because I'm nothing if not dedicated. So, for those of you who don't know, Sweet Bobby started out as this podcast, and it's about this woman, this British woman, who gets into a relationship, a 10-year relationship with this man named Bobby. Anyway, turns out it's a catfish. And it's like this extremely elaborate.
Yeah, the relationship's all online as well.
Yeah, they
never meet.
Nah. The details of this, I was like I knew the premise of it. And at first, because I remember saying on this fucking pod, I said, how the hell do you get bamboozled and into a 10-year relationship, particularly as an educated woman, with never meeting them? That I could not fathom it. But then when I was watching this and but even then, oh my God. Okay, so she gets like this friend request from him, and his younger brother is dating her cousin. They have mutual friends, whatever. So she accepts it. They start talking. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But then you find out, like, he says, oh, my marriage is over. And I'm like, what do you mean you've just been chatting to a random married man online? That's weird, first of all. So then the craziest, it's not even just like they're just chatting online. The craziest fucking shit happens. So he meets this, so he gets divorced, right? Then he meets this other woman, and like a year later he's engaged. Yeah. And her name's Saji, is that? Sanji? Sanji, I think it is. So they're now going to get married, right? And then so he like introduces Sanji and the main girl. And what's her name? Kirat?
Yeah. Kirat Simran?
Yeah, it's Kirat. Yeah, Kirat Assi.
I don't know where I got Simran from.
That's her cousin's name.
Ah, there we go.
So Bobby says to Kirat, the main girl, hey, befriend like my soon to be wife, Sanji. So then they add each other on Facebook. They get chatting. They have this little fucking friendship between the three of them. And then one day Sanji posts to Facebook, Bobby's been shot 6 times and he's in a coma. So like, and so fucking...
It's not funny, but it's...
So Kirat starts like fucking freaking out. And then fucking Bobby's cousin adds her, and this like doctor adds her, like Bobby's doctor adds her, and like...
What got me was the bit, I don't know if it's in the doco, but I like, he's in the hospital or something and he's like refusing to eat.
No, that wasn't in there.
Right. So there's like this bit, and I think the doctor must have like called the main girl on WhatsApp. What's her name again? Sorry? Kirat. Calls Kirat on WhatsApp, and he's like, Bobby's refusing to eat. Maybe if you talk to him, he like might be more open to like, you know, like eating and like doing the things that we want him to do. So she's like talking to him on the phone or whatever. I think it was at this point where like she's kind of pulling away because she's like, oh, this is a bit weird. And so she keeps talking to him. She keeps calling, like he's calling her, whatever. And then like the doctor calls again, and he's like, literally the only time he will eat is after he's spoken to you. Oh my God. And so like that's more of like the coercion, because she felt like, if I don't call and like keep in contact, this man's gonna die. Like,
that didn't come up in the doco. It was like he got shot, was in a coma, then he got put into witness protection.
Yes.
And he got relocated to New York City. And this is what fucking got me, because my understanding of witness protection is if you get put into it, you literally lose all contact with everyone in your life, right? You can't tell anyone anything. You can't contact anyone that you know. And you're telling me that he's just messaging her being like, yeah, I'm in witness protection.
This is the area.
I'm in New York. Yeah. So he's in hospital. No, he's in New York, and then he has a stroke. And then he's in hospital in New York, and the stroke makes him paralyzed on one side of his body, and he loses his vocal cords. Ah. Which is very convenient.
How convenient, yeah.
Yeah. So he's able to text her, so they're texting.
Of course he is.
And then it evolves to like voice calls, but she'll talk on the phone, and then he just like taps and like maybe will
Morse code
or something. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, he says that he loves her. This is literally years into, like, they've been talking for years at this point.
Like more than 6.
So then he's in this hospital fucking, and then if they would fight, suddenly the doctor's contacting her being like, oh
critical
my God,
condition,
critical
code
condition.
red, code red.
He's going to die.
Kirat, code red.
And so then she'd like, you know, come crawling back or whatever, and then he'd have a miracle recovery.
Yeah.
And then he proposes to her over, this is how he proposes to her. So they've never spoken on the phone besides her talking to him and him going, and they've never met. They've never they're not allowed a video call because of his witness protection program. And so he draws on, when Facebook introduced the like drawing thing in the messages, he wrote, "Will you marry me?" And she's like, "Yes, you are the love of my life.
Of course I will
I
marry
will
you.
marry you." So now they're engaged. And she's like telling her whole family. She's like, "This is my man.
End game. Yeah.
We're going to get married. It's fine." So then she's pushing for like, when can you get out of witness protection? When I don't think
Is that something you can get out of?
I don't think so. It's not like a fucking prison sentence. So she's pushing for like, when can you get out? Meanwhile, he receives an envelope with news that Sanji is having his baby. So his ex-wife, who he supposedly hasn't seen for a long time, is having his baby, and then he confesses to having bussed her like 7 or 8 months ago, and now she's about to have the child. So
with half of his functioning body.
So anyway, so she's like losing her shit, right? And then she's like, "You know what? It's fine. It's gonna be fine."
Mm-hmm.
So then he's like asking her, what should we name him? Like, what should I name him? Like, she's fully a part of it. Like, helps name this child that isn't hers. They're like online shopping together to find outfits for the baby. But then she's being sent photos later down the track of like the baby wearing the clothes. And she's like, "Wow, that's so nice of Sanji to like actually put him in the clothes."
Yeah.
Anyway, then she starts pushing more and more about like, "When are you coming back? Like, when am I going to see you? Like this, I need to see you," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Suddenly, his witness protection's been revoked and he's free. But then he still won't come back to London. So she's like pushing him more and more. And then suddenly he's like, "I come back tomorrow." So they had agreed that she wouldn't pick him up from the airport because he needed time to settle back in, right? So she doesn't go to pick him up from the airport, and she's like texting him every day, like, "Can I come see? Like, can I see you? He's meant to be staying at this hotel in Kensington." He's like, "No, not yet." Like, always has an excuse. One day she like gets sick of it, and so she goes to the hotel he's staying at, goes up to the front desk, and she's like, "Oh, I'm here to see blah blah," and they're like, "There's no one here under that name," and she's like, "He's been staying here for weeks," and they're like, "No." So she calls her cousin and is like, "What the fuck is going on? This is so weird." And suddenly she gets a text message from Bobby being like, "I told them not to let anyone come see me or know that I was staying here." Next thing you know, she's like fucking going to like where she thinks he lives in Kensington, and it's like this whole thing. Before you know it, she's engaged a private investigator and is like, "Tell me where this man lives."
Find him.
It's as simple as like Googling, "Where does Bobby live?" And the private investigator goes,
"Here you go."
He's like, 123
Fake Street.
Street, Brighton.
Yeah.
Drives all the way to Brighton, goes to his house, knocks on the door. Bobby answers. Like, Bobby's a real person.
Yep.
Answers the door. His wife, Sanji, is there.
Yep.
Their kids there, like everything. She starts fucking flipping out. She's like, "I can't believe you came and you were spending time with Sanji and not me, and rah, like, how dare you do
And
this?"
he's like, "Who are you?"
I know. And she's like, "I have been talking to you for 8 years, like 8 or 9 years. Like, every day we're engaged." This whole thing like is showing like photos while she's there, like on her little tirade. Bobby calls her. She's getting a phone call from Bobby, and Bobby's like, "See, it can't be me." And at this point, Sanji's gone back in the house. So she's like, "No, that's Sanji making a point." Anyway, then she ends up leaving, and then, spoiler alert if you don't want to know who the catfish is. Like, I mean, I've already spoiled the whole fucking thing.
Well,
like,
yeah,
what do
why are
want
you
me to
watching
do?
it now?
She is like messaging her cousin, and she's like, "I'm going to call the police," because they'd called the police, whatever. And her cousin's like, no, like, let me come around. She comes around, and Kirat opens the door, and her cousin's like, "I don't think you're going to want to let me in." And her cousin's like, "What the fuck? Why?" Kirat's like, "Why? What's going on?" And she's like, "It was all me." She's like, Kirat's like, what do you fucking mean?" She's like, "I am Bobby. But I'm not just Bobby. I'm Sanji. I'm
50 other people.
I'm cousin 1, cousin 2. Like, literally
Cousin 1 to 50.
people.
Yeah.
60 Facebook profiles.
All linked together somehow. Mutual friends. Yeah. All posting looking like they're actual genuine profiles.
Commenting on each other's
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
Like, the whole fucking...
How do you keep tabs of who's who in the zoo and what, like, you know what I mean?
My guess is that because it was like everything that she was getting primarily was copied off of their real profiles.
Yeah.
I
fair.
think she was just mimicking
Yeah.
what was going on and then maybe adding little bits
Yeah.
to it. But how much fucking time do you have?
Yeah.
The effort. Like,
Yeah.
and particularly because it got to a point at one stage where Kirat had to be messaging or on the phone with or on Skype with, like, but with no camera, with Bobby at all times. Like, literally, they would sleep on Skype together.
Mm.
Who has the fucking time?
Yeah. And she ended up like losing her job and stuff over it as well.
Yeah. Dude, when I saw it was the cousin, shemozzled.
Bamboozled.
I said, excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh my days. And every time something would happen, I would literally laugh out loud. Like, when he got shot, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be
I'm
kidding me.
like, the cousin just shows absolutely no remorse for what she's done.
No. Oh my God, I've got
Cousin's female, by the way.
Huh?
Cousin's female, too.
Yeah. Yeah, they contacted... I was waiting in the doco for, like, right at the end for the cousin to come in, but she's not in it.
No, of
the
course
real
not.
life Bobby is, and his
Yeah.
real life wife is in it.
To be his wife and to have this crazy woman being like, rock up on your front door and to then be like, you've been messaging me for the last 8 years. Like, what the fuck is going... You'd be like, pardon me?
I know.
I would have lost my poo at this man.
No, literally.
She handled it like an absolute guru.
And she's stunning.
Yeah.
She's so stunning. Wow, Coco, only one of us can fit here. So stunning. The cousin, so she's not in it. They asked her if she wanted to be in it. And then at the end, she like submitted a statement or something and was basically like, what went on is private between...
No, it's not, actually.
Individuals. And, I'm not going to entertain like these baseless claims or like, damaging claims or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the claims of what actually happened are damaging, but you pretending to be 60 people isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
But then, like, because the police weren't going to do anything about it.
No.
And Kirat, like, saved all the evidence and she ended up managing to take her cousin to civil court and won. Her cousin had to pay her, like, a payout, essentially, and submitted a private apology. What's her name? Simran Sweet Bobby statement. Let me see if I can get Simran Sweet Bobby statement up. Oh yeah, here we go. Yes, people.
It's not me panting, by the way. That's Coco.
And it's also me breathing quite heavily. This matter concerns a family dispute over events that began over a decade ago when I was a schoolgirl. As far as I am concerned, this is a private family matter that has been resolved, and I strongly object to the numerous, unfounded, and seriously defamatory accusations that have been made about me, as well as details of private matters that have been shared with the media. Doll, it's not like she's she's gone to the media with all this private stuff. She's gone to the media with what you did.
It's receipts.
Catfishing her.
Yeah. Like, what?
You're the one.
Faceless, defamatory doll.
You are the one that was in a fake, intimate, romantic relationship with your fucking cousin.
Like, I remember being so mad listening to this podcast because I was just like, all your screws are loose.
Yeah.
All your fucking screws are loose. And your family are just sitting there letting you ruin someone else's life.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind.
Imagine Christmas. Like, are you going to a family event and like being...
But you know what? Like, she wouldn't be ostracized, like, Simrat wouldn't be ostracized for what
Did you
she...
just call her Simrat?
Yeah, what's her name?
Simran.
Simran, sorry. Simran wouldn't be ostracized for what she did. It would be Kirat.
Yeah.
That's where the tea's coming from.
No, I like Simrat. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Simrat.
Simran, more like Simrat.
Yeah.
Kirat would be the one ostracized because she's the one that called out family.
Yeah. And she's not married.
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing.
And I think that also plays a part into why she was more vulnerable to getting catfished as well, is like the whole cultural thing of like, you need to be married, you need to have kids, like, don't ever question your elders and like your family members, and you know.
Yeah.
If they've got mutual friends, then like, you know, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because none of it, like, her parents are interviewed in it, and mostly her mum speaks because her dad didn't really know much about it until towards the end. But her mum and there's another family member, female family member, both of them were super supportive of it and loved it. They really didn't see an issue with it. Whereas if that was me, my family would be like, "Doe, stop talking to strangers on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that. That's not good." It was actually really good. Like phenomenal.
The podcast is fucking unreal,
Yeah.
honestly.
I highly recommend it. It was just mind-boggling.
Isn't it crazy? Like, it's just such a crazy story.
Yeah. I feel a bit bad for the woman, like Kirat, because she's 44 now, and at the end of the doco, like, it doesn't seem like she's in a relationship or anything like that. And she really wants to be a mother.
Oh.
And so she's like, you know, there's a big question mark around whether I'll ever be a mother because of my age. And I'm like, "Oh, just go do it yourself."
It's just rough because it's like she lost a whole decade of her life that she could have potentially spent with someone legitimately.
Yeah.
Fucking
Her whole
having
life.
her life ruined by her cousin and like stringing her on.
Her whole life, because she was with her ex-partner for like 18 years or something. They were together like
real
since
long
they were
term.
kids.
Yeah.
And then she comes out of that relationship, jumps straight into one with Bobby. That ends up being this fake facade for like, I think they're only in a relationship for like 4 or so years.
Yeah.
But still, you're right. It's like 10 years that she's never going to get back. And now she's in her 40s. All she wants is a kid. And she's starting from scratch. I would punch the fuck out of my cousin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On that doorstep, when she confessed, I would have
thrown a brick in her head.
I would have fucking rounded one of these up.
I would have pulled one out of the house. Just loved it at her.
Done. That story that you told me with the phone into the head.
Yeah, and like, you know how that lady in that doco Into the Fire or Walking into the, how she just continuously keeps calling her?
Me.
That would be me.
Yeah.
To their home phone. Buzz, bitch.
If anyone I knew did that to me, I would fucking ruin your life.
Yeah.
Don't humiliate me.
No.
Whose fucking side are you on?
Don't waste my fucking time, too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Or I will beat you the fuck up.
Yeah.
I will buy a gun.
And that's what made me, like, the most mad. Is just, like, the family were just so, like, well, it's happened now. Huh?
What do you mean we're not all beating this person up? Are you kidding
Where
me?
is your pitchfork? Sorry.
Whatever happened, I think we bring back town square executions.
Guillotine.
Yeah.
Guillotine.
Immediately on a Sunday morning, straight after Pilates.
Yeah.
That would piss me the fuck off. And like, all credit to Kirat. Like, her telling her story is important because catfishing is a huge problem.
Yeah.
That's why they made a fucking TV show out of it.
Yeah.
But like, if that was me, you'd never know. You would never know that I got catfished because I'm not telling you.
No.
He died.
Yeah.
We broke it off because he died.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I'd never admit that. I'd be mortified.
Crazy.
Yeah. Nuts. I feel like this is a good segue into Love is Blind.
Love is blind. Love is so blind.
Yes.
If
it's not fake, it's blind. Episodes, what was it, 10 and 11 came out this week?
Sure.
So we're near the end, guys. This week comes out the final, like the wedding episode And then the reunion is like October 30, I think.
Gorgeous.
When is Love is Blind season 7 reunion? Yeah, October 30. So I can't be bothered recapping where we've been. Oh shit. With Love is Blind.
You should have kept up.
Yeah, guys, like keep up, seriously. So episode 10 and 11, not really much happens, to be honest. It's like they're meeting other people's families. Like Garrett meets Taylor's mum and her dad, but that's not on camera. Let's talk about Tim and Alex, though.
Oh my God, that episode made me cry.
So they're sitting on a couch and Tim...
Not this bit.
Oh.
The bit where he meets Alex's dad.
Oh, yeah. That was like in episode 9 or something. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. We've been there. Been there, done that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So...
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've definitely met. Anyway, you Googling. Are you fact checking me? Oh, no, I don't want to. If it's wrong, I'm not.
I don't know. Hang on. You keep talking.
Anyway.
You keep talking.
So, episode 10. So, he's met her family. She's met his, right? And then I think it's episode 10. One of them, they're sitting on a couch. And it's definitely episode 10. They're sitting on the couch and Tim's like really pissed off.
Yeah, you're right.
He's really pissed off. He's like, my parents drove 10 fucking hours to come meet you. And as soon as cameras stopped rolling, you went and had a nap. She's like, I had to sleep for an hour. I was exhausted.
Fair.
And then he starts like nitpicking other things. Things like, I text you and you didn't answer. And she was like, but it was a meaningless
And like
text.
We're at work.
Yeah, I'm at work. Like I have these long days. I'm not going to be texting you all fucking day. And he just starts nitpicking all these different things. And in the end, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I'm not getting married to you. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, my turn to speak now. How dare you fucking meet my father and say what you said to him to 2 days later now call everything off? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Which I think is a very valid point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like Tim really put it on with her dad. I need to sit up.
Go on then. No one's stopping you, doll.
Really put it on with her dad. Like, said all the right things. And it was a huge deal for her and her family.
It was such a heartwarming bit of that episode 8.
Yeah. And she's right. You don't go from saying that to 2 days later breaking it off. That's particularly over the things that he's getting upset about. Like, he knew that he was not going to the altar that whole time. And so many people online are actually siding with Tim, being like, good on him for like setting boundaries and shit.
Really?
And like, listen, let's go. Tim and Alex. I don't necessarily disagree, right? But I feel like the way that he goes about things is he speaks to her in the same way that Hannah speaks to Nikki D.
It's just so condescending.
It's so condescending.
And then like when she tries to say her piece, he's like, are you going to let me finish?
Can I speak? Oh, can I speak?
If someone spoke to me like that.
Like, honestly, I'd fucking lose my mind. I'm trying to find an article about it. But yeah, people are kind of siding with Tim, and I'm like, I don't see it. Like, no. I really, particularly when she finally did clap back at him, particularly like with the whole stuff with her dad, I was like, good on you.
Yeah,
good on you, because I feel like Tim comes across as like super controlling, and I feel like his future wife will wake up before he does and put on a full face of makeup, fucking Dyson air wrap her hair. Yeah. He will never see her without makeup on. She'll be like that trad wife. No, who's the trad wives of TikTok? There's one,
Nora something.
you know, you just see into my mind. Yeah, that Nora Smith
Yes.
is Tim's perfect woman. In her fucking, like, milkmaid dresses, in her making the dough, not speaking, just, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Which is
A
wild.
Stepford wife.
And I think that's my issue with Tim, is I don't think that there's an issue with setting boundaries, and if you're not into it, cool, like, pulling it. But I think he's a bit fucked.
Yeah. 100%.
Then we have, who else? Taylor and Garrett, completely fine. They have a little bit of a tiff because he replies to a message from an ex-girlfriend, which I totally get.
And lies about replying.
Why do men lie?
Like,
And then when he's like, there's no difference between, like, reacting to it with, like, a love heart versus
liking
sending
it
a
and
reply.
replying. And I'm like,
No, there is, because you've typed words. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not distinguish
Yeah.
that? Even I was getting pissed off. I was like, you're being an idiot.
Yeah.
But I still love him. He's so hot. So no bad vibes there. Who else is there? Tyler and Ashley, randomly, like, just happy as days.
Yeah.
They're just no issues.
Well, because she's
whatsoever.
believing the lie that he's a sperm donor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
But in episode 10, I think it is, she asks him, do your kids know what you like? Well, not sorry, they're not in this. They're not his kids. Do the children that you have donated for know what you look like? And he looks her dead in the eyes and goes, no. I almost punched the center of my fucking TV.
then you go online and there's all these fucking photo shoot photos of him wearing like a t-shirt that says daddy and like his kids like right next to him. It's
There's
like,
not even just photos. There's fucking videos
Yeah.
of him playing with these kids. And they're like,
Yeah.
there's my daddy.
huh?
Are you serious?
Riddle me that.
So he's on my to punch list. Samron, Tyler, and Tim. That's my to punch list this week.
Mm.
But then episode 11 comes around. And so
Yeah.
episode 11, they're doing the dress fittings and the
Mm-hmm.
tuxes. Note to the Love is Blind producers, we don't need to see the tux fittings. It's so fucking boring.
Nothing's said. There's no thoughts going on.
Men
during
have
that section.
no interesting things to say when women aren't around. And B, just putting on a tux, it's so boring. It's just pants and a top.
Yeah.
Like, we can do without. But the wedding dress bit I loved. Oh, I forgot about Marissa and Ramses.
They go to the dress fitting though. That happens after the dress fitting.
Yeah. So Marissa's mum behaves
Yep.
at the dress fitting. That's nice. But someone's not at the dress fitting. And that person's name is...
Hannah Banana.
Hannah is not in attendance. So after you have the dress fitting scene, it has like her and Nikki D in the apartment. And she's like, yep, it's off. We're not doing this anymore. I just feel like we're not on the same playing field.
So they all go to, I think it's in episode 10, they all go to a group party kind of.
It's like a Gatsby theme party.
Yeah, at like a bar or something. And old contestants that were in the pods are also invited to come join. And what was the girl's name?
Katie.
Katie comes, and Katie is the girl that Nikki D was first really interested in the pods, but she turned him down. And so that's when he started to make a move on Hannah. And so he meets her for the first time. She's a little bit older than he is. I think she's like 35-ish, 34, 35, and he's 28. And so Katie and Hannah are apparently best friends, like from the show and everything. And so Katie and Hannah are having a little chat, whatever, and then they go their separate ways. And then Nikki D and Katie go off to have a conversation. And Hannah's...
She's 36.
There you go. And Hannah's watching from the sidelines, and she's like, bit suspicious that they're talking for 45 minutes. That's a bit odd. Like, she's meant to be my best friend, but it's a bit weird. And like, why isn't Nikki D shutting it down? That's a bit bizarre. But then it cuts to the conversation that they're having, and Katie was like, oh, like on paper, the vibe that I got from you in the pods was that you're very much the type that I would go for on the outside, and I just didn't really want to go for that again because it hasn't really worked in my favor. And she's like, and you kind of lean into like being really sexual, and like I felt that vibe when we were in the pods, and I think that you're such like a kind, generous, like thoughtful person, and like you're really big on family and friends, and like you're a great person. Like you don't need to be overly sexual when meeting people. Like I feel like you're putting up a front because you're trying to compensate for something, but there's nothing to compensate for. Like trust who you are, lead with that. Like you don't need to rely on anything else, and you don't need to like, you know, be overly flirty to get what you want.
You're very good at remembering what people say.
This rocked me, because I was like, she has read this fucker like a book, because that is exactly what he was doing.
And she articulated it so well, because it applies to so many men. So many men. And I was like, wow, girl.
100%. And she was like, what did she say? Anyway, you could tell that like it was really not like hitting a nerve, but it was really touching for him, because like he almost looked like he was about to cry hearing this like come from Katie. And she said, the only reason why I didn't go further with you in the pods is because I didn't think that you were mature enough for me. Like you weren't really all there yet.
Yeah.
And that is foreshadowing for his relationship with Hannah, because then when they get back to their apartment, Hannah's like, what were you talking about Katie with? And he was like, oh, you know, just stuff, like we hit it off in the pods, and so I was just getting to know her and like introducing myself, like. And she's like, no, well, you said that out of anyone that you wanted to see tonight, it was Katie, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, if you're so concerned about what we're saying, she's meant to be your best friend, why don't you ask her? She's like, no, because you're my fiance.
Yeah.
You're meant to tell me what's going on. Like, why are you being shady? And he's like, I'm not being shady, blah, blah, blah.
And she's like, I'm really upset because Katie, who's meant to be my best friend, all night she's going, wow, Nikki D is so hot. He's so stunning. He's so gorgeous. But you're my fiance. And then you're saying that you wanted to speak to her at the thing. And it was just...
You're feeding into it, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And then he almost got like a bit like... He got a pep in his step, because he was kind of like, no, like I'm a kind, thoughtful, generous man. Like you have to treat me like one. And he was trying to stand up for himself, but Hannah was just laying it on him.
She's very intimidating, and she speaks very clearly, and she's very set in her ways. Like not in a bad way. Like I just feel like she's very sure of herself.
I think there's a difference between telling the honest truth and telling it how it is. Like that's one thing. Someone's asking for your opinion, you tell them what you think. Nikki D has never once asked her, what's your opinion of me?
Yeah.
She's just being toxic as fuck and just ripping him a new one and like trying to belittle him for fucking no reason.
And you, just because you want to be honest and truthful to people doesn't mean you have to deliver it in the way that she delivers it. And that's where she falls down short, is her delivery of things.
100%.
And she doesn't consider, like, if I was in that person's shoes, how would it make me feel? Yeah. And I think she is very harsh on him. Like, one thing that comes up a lot is, you're not mature enough. Like, you're not as... But she's always like, I'm so mature and you're just not as mature as me. Like, I read, you don't read. Like, when are you gonna... You said that you would read because I do, but you don't. Like, you know, where's your priorities? And it's like, this isn't even... You're just being nasty.
Yeah, you can't force someone to meet you on your level. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like ever since they met outside of the pods, I feel like she's been disappointed in, like, I feel like what she thought, what she was expecting from Nikki D isn't what he was giving her. And I feel like her being disappointed and feeling that disappointment from when they met kind of follows through their relationship, and her being nasty is trying to like get back at him almost.
Yeah, like, because when they first met, she said in her little off the side interview, he lied. He doesn't look anything like, you know, he's not as tall as he said he was. He's not as big as he said he was. And I agree. I think that she uses all these other things as to rationalize in her head
Retaliation,
why she isn't into him,
Yeah.
rather than being as superficial as saying,
Yeah.
I'm just not attracted to him.
Agreed. Like, I don't know if, like, consciously she's aware of it, but, like, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
You can tell she has the ick, and she almost, in a way, finds him repulsive.
She's like, I love him. And I'm like, girl, do you?
I don't think she
I don't
does.
think you do, doll.
No.
I'll be real with you.
No, because you wouldn't be that critical of someone that you love. You just
No,
wouldn't.
no.
She is. It's a lot. It's actually, I find every time she's on screen talking to him, so hard to watch. I'm like, my ass cheeks are clenched so
The
tight.
bit where she's talking to Ashley about how he doesn't like giving head.
I don't remember that part.
You don't remember
No,
it?
I mustn't have been paying
She's
attention.
like, I've had to like train him essentially on how to have sex and like how to pleasure a woman. And she's like, he hates giving head. I was like,
wow. Okay. Wow, my mind blanked that one out.
Suppressed that thought.
It's just, and then he meets her friends, and they're not as intense as Hannah, but they have very similar mindsets. And I felt bad for him. He got fucking ripped.
He got roasted
for no reason.
Yeah.
Because Hannah's instigating it. She's sitting there, going, saying how I don't think you're that mature. And, you're not on my level.
Yeah, you're making.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like doing the things that I ask you to do, you make it sound like it's such a chore and it's so hard to do. But this is like basic stuff, and he's just like, I'm not saying it's hard.
But also,
it's hard when you're bullying me.
why are we so hung up on whether he walks your dog or not?
It's your dog.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? And I think also, because one of the things that has come up earlier is, you only take out the trash, or you take out the trash when I ask you. And it's like, well, maybe if you weren't cleaning the house every 3 minutes of the day, you wouldn't feel like the only time he does things is when you ask him.
You're not giving him an opportunity to step up.
Give him 2 business days, doll.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. We don't need to be mopping every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And then, so she ends up breaking up with him. Mm-hmm. And I do feel really bad for him. I feel like he got ripped a new one. I really do.
Oh, yeah. He went through the fucking ringer.
And because I think he gets criticized for, like, being very conscious of his image on the show.
Yeah.
I would be, like, I imagine that if I was on TV, I would have in the back of my mind, how am I going to come off?
Everyone's seeing this.
Yeah, like, I think that's actually quite a mature thing to think about. He's not just going to say anything or do anything because he's mindful of this is being broadcast internationally.
And I think also because his family is really religious as well.
Yeah.
Like, he would want to keep it as PG as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that actually shows a sign of maturity. And I think Hannah's incessant need to bully him and nitpick him and always speak down to him. She speaks down to him as if he's a child.
Yeah.
I think that shows immaturity.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I could be friends with someone like Hannah.
Oh, you just hate yourself all the time.
Yeah.
And you'd be so angry all the time because every conversation would be centered around what you aren't doing or what you're not good at. Or
it would be so interesting to see what she's like if the roles were reversed. Like, if she was paired with someone that was like a 10 out of 10, had it all put together, was like a league above her.
Yeah.
Like, career-wise, money-wise, all of that.
Yeah.
How that dynamic would change. But we'll never know.
You never know.
We'll never know.
I think the reunion, she'll like do a 180 and she'll be we're going to hear that I've taken accountability. I'm seeing.
Watching it back, I was a cunt.
Yeah, like all of that. We're going to get all of that. I keep getting cramps in my calves.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh my God. Okay, no one move. So yeah. I can't wait I hope that Nikki D has found a sense of confidence.
Yeah.
From like doing the show and he's like found himself. Because I know like I saw a thing where he was saying to like paparazzi or whatever that he has moved out of his parents' house.
Oh, good on him.
So that's good. But I must say, like, I don't want to be seen as like, wow, congratulations, a man did the bare minimum. But when someone is being absolutely berated,
yeah,
I feel like it's only fair. Like, the guy really wasn't that bad. He's not like Steven.
No. He's not an asshole.
No.
He comes from a privileged family. Like, it is, like, yeah, again, no excuses. Like, 100% you should
I also think he's just more quiet and submissive.
know how to do basic things, but
Like,
yeah.
he doesn't need to walk around being like, I do this and I do that. Like, yeah, okay, you should know how to boil pasta.
Yeah, period.
But that doesn't make you a fucking asshole.
No.
Yeah. So then Marissa and Ramses are the other two.
Now, I kind of glazed over why they are in a rough patch.
There was two things that happened. One of them was she came out of the bathroom.
There was the bit where, like, she was on her period or about to get her period and she didn't want to bus, and he was like, oh, that's a bit weird. I just don't want a life where I'm wanting to bus and you're not.
Yeah.
But then the second bit, I was like, I don't really
He
care about
started
you
getting,
anymore.
like, cold feet in episode 10.
Why?
I don't really understand. And what annoys me is when they have confrontation and she stands up to him, he will always be like, yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, maybe you're right. And it's like, no,
Why are we here then?
You said the opposite. Like, what?
Yeah.
Let me see if one of these articles is going to tell me. No, this is all about. Basically, yeah, he starts getting cold feet. I can't remember why. And then later on, I'm going to see if I can figure out why. And then later on, they're on a boat somewhere, like in a jacuzzi.
Yeah, they're in like a hot tub or a jacuzzi or something.
Yes.
Because it was right before the weddings.
And but again, like, he's not saying anything, but he's saying all these words, but he's not saying a lot. He's basically just tiptoeing around the fact that he's getting cold feet. And then she's starting to make comments about, like, well, I don't want to have to take all the mental load. That's not fair. And that's my biggest fear. And I said that in the pods, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone where it is that traditional role where the woman is taking the mental load with, like, raising kids and things like that. Which is so fair. And she did express that. Here we go. In episode 9, where are we? Oh no, it's not there. Anyway, never mind. I think half of the issue is like we're not seeing the whole conversation.
Yeah, I hate when they cut to an argument and we get absolutely zero context about what they're fighting about. Like, it happened in the honeymoon when Alex and Tim were like having a row about something Alex said, but there is no footage about what she called him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I have never been called that word in my life, and coming here to have a chat to you about what you called me last night, I was set on calling it off. And I'm like, what the fuck did she call you? What did she call you that made you this mad?
Yes.
And we never know. We never find out.
They almost need to put, like, cameras in their apartments, like, it just in the living room, bedroom, or whatever. Like, Ultimatum do it.
Yeah.
And then that way they'll capture the stuff
just
when they're not around.
Couldn't imagine, like, going about my day in my house with just this random person with a camera just following me.
I wouldn't be able to be myself.
No.
I'd be and then I'd come across as a dickhead on TV because I'd be trying too hard.
I'd be disassociating.
So Marie Claire reports, so this is what their article says. In episode 10, after an off-screen conversation where Marissa tells Ramses she'd be okay with having kids earlier than their 3 to 5 year timeline, their physical intimacy has lessened since Cabo, which makes sense since Marissa's commuting 2 hours from and Ramses seems to want that level of passion all the time. This is not the one that I'm thinking about. But then the hot tub one. See, I missed this. I missed the whole, because I don't understand what Ramses is saying. That's my problem. Is he's very vague, and that's why I don't know how to tell
Yeah.
you what he's saying.
Yeah.
So Marissa says that Ramses hasn't been putting in that much effort with her mother or wedding planning. She says she doesn't want to end up shouldering most of the mental load during their marriage, which is a slippery slope for any relationship. She also doesn't want to get divorced, saying that she'd be willing to be unhappy for 5 to 7 years in terms of sticking it out for the marriage, which...
Damn, that's crazy.
Dude,
No.
no, we need to...
If you're not happy, leave.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's toxic. This seems to concern Ramses as he's determined to make his second marriage last, but not if it comes at the cost of his happiness. The final episode before the wedding ends with the aftermath of a disagreement. It's unclear what they were discussing.
Yeah.
But Marissa says that it isn't an issue they've been having the whole time and that Ramses talked to some people and began having more doubts. However, Ramses points out that the new unnamed issue is one of those things in terms of experiencing what it's like to exist together and to live together and all of that. Okay,
What
do
is
you guys
that?
understand why we've been rambling for 10 minutes trying to fucking tell you what Ramses
He's
is
so
saying?
vague. He speaks in riddles.
It's a vague conversation, but Ramses is clear that marriage isn't just love and that there's other things that have to work. Marissa still wants to get married and take the risk of falling in love, but the episode ends before we see Ramses's response. So that's the one where she comes out of the bathroom that I was talking about. That's why I was so confused and why I have a feeling it's coming back to their sex life again.
Yeah, I just... Like, if you're gonna... I just don't like how they've gone about this season in, like, how they're cutting the scenes. Give me the context. I don't care if someone has to be in that house 24/7 filming.
I have never seen it this bad. Like,
it's jarring.
Remember when Jeremy got caught cheating or whatever?
Yeah.
They made them talk about it as if they
retell it, rehash it, reenact it. I don't care what you have to do. Give me the context so that I understand what the fuck you're arguing about.
The other thing they haven't been doing since they've been out of the pods and like out of the honeymoon is the site, you know, where they do their like little interviews to camera. Do that to provide context. Why is that not being done?
Yeah.
Because
like post-production,
it's really hard to follow along, and the best parts are the parts that we're missing. That's why these are your options, Love is Blind. Put cameras in their homes.
Yep.
Right? Or have this... I think that they need to bring back the interviews. The, like,
post-production,
green screen interviews.
have both of them tell their side and then play what happened.
Yeah, because then that way, if you've missed something, they can give the context.
Yeah. I'd need the context or else you're going to lose me. And Ramses and... I'm lost on that couple. Like, I have no idea what you're not agreeing with at this point, so I'm just going to tap out.
It's giving amateur hour in terms of production, and if they can't fix it, I think people are going to real quickly lose interest in the show. Because, like, what the fuck is the point?
Literally. Like, if you're missing all the good bits, why are we here, doll?
It may as well be in Spanish.
Why are we here?
But, yes, that is... the update. Current predictions.
Yeah, let's have them.
Ramses will say no at the altar.
Yep.
I think Tyler and Ashley will get married. And I think, because apparently she's been like ride or die for Tyler on socials, defending him everywhere. So I think they're still together.
Ride or die, knowing what's out there.
Yeah.
Holy dooly. Yeah, right.
Taylor and Garrett married, happy as fucking whatever. They're going to be together forever.
Opening up a science lab.
Tim and Alex obviously done. Nikki D and Hannah obviously done. Have I missed anyone?
No, that's it.
That's it. So there we go. That's our predictions of the week. And then lastly, I watched Woman of the Hour. So it's the new movie on Netflix with Anna Kendrick. And it's based on the true story about this serial killer in California who killed a bunch of women, went on a dating show in like the 70s, and he got picked by the Bachelorette, and then she like got really bad vibes afterwards and like could have died.
That's crazy that that's a true story.
Right? Crazy that it's a true story. Honestly, wouldn't recommend the movie.
Really?
It's it's not that long of a movie. It's like 90 minutes or like an hour 30, whatever. The story's interesting.
Yeah.
But it would be better as a podcast.
I was just going to say that sounds like good podcast material.
It was really bland. And like the reviews aren't good for it.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't waste my time.
It's very weird. Like, all it is.
Does he get caught?
Yes, he does. And the way that he gets caught is that pork, like, I'm going to spoil it. I don't care because honestly,
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. It's not worth it. So, throughout the movie, as it's setting it up, you see he's a photographer. He like meets these women, convinces like, is all like, let me take photos of you, and then just fucking like kills them, kind of thing. Then he goes on the show. The girl that is the Bachelorette, she's like this budding actress, and he does really well on the show. So she picks him. They win an all expenses paid trip to Carmel in like California, which in real life they didn't win that. They won like something way less than that. It was like a trip to a fucking amusement park. And but he was like, oh, we should go for a drink now, kind of thing. And she's like, yeah, okay, like whatever. They go for a drink. She gets like weird vibes. She's like, no. And then at one point he like turns to the waitress and he's like, oh, can we get another round of drinks? And he can't see, but like Anna Kendrick's, her name's Cheryl in the thing, she's like, no, like shaking her head, and the waitress clocks it, and so she like makes up this lie about them closing or whatever. They go back to across the road to the parking lot of the studio where they're parked, and he like asked for her number, right? And she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, like so you can get in touch before, but she gives him like a fake number, right? And he somehow must have clocked that she was like suddenly not feeling it, because as she's going to walk away, he's like, oh, do you mind just like reciting your phone number to me? And she's like, oh, I've given it to you, like, huh? And he's like, yeah, but you know, it could be fake. I'd hate for it to be fake. And she's like, oh, well, you know, let me just read it out to you again, like pass it back. And he's like, what, you don't remember your number? Anyway, and then she like confesses, she's like, yeah, this is it. You're not hearing from me ever again. And he said something like, oh, I guess I'll just see you around, and then mutters under his breath, like, and then I'll bash your fucking head in or something, right? And she hears it, and she's like, excuse me? And then he starts to get really fucking weird. She's walking back to her car, and he starts to follow her. She tries to get into her car really quickly, but he, like, stops her. And he's, like, being really fucking weird, and you can tell that he's, like, gonna try and, like, clock her. And then it just so happens that these men are coming out of the studio right at that point, so then he fucks off.
Thank God.
So she's fine. She like is fine, whatever. While they're filming the dating show, there's a girl in the audience who recognizes him because he was at like this beach party that she went to, and her friend was raped and murdered at this beach. Like she'd left, and then her friend was raped and murdered. And when she left, her friend was with this guy. And so she like freaked out, left the studio. Her boyfriend didn't believe her. And then she tried to tell the producers of the show, but they didn't take her seriously.
Losers.
And so then like at the end of the film, you see like her boyfriend like apologizes and takes her seriously. And then so she goes to he takes her to the police station to tell them. And they just are like, nah, yeah, this is not a thing. Like, whatever. Anyway, meanwhile, fucking old mate, right, there's like this homeless teenager. And he like does the whole like, let me take photos of you. And then he's like, oh my God, I need a model for something. Like, let's go to, I don't know, it's like fucking middle of California or something, like out somewhere. So they drive all this way, and then he like rapes and tries to kill her, but she wakes up and she clocks what's happened to her. And he's like laying face down in the dirt next to her sobbing. Anyway, so she clocks what has happened to her, but she's obviously, I don't know if this is real. Like, I know that he got caught because of a teenage girl, but I don't know if like the actual details of this is real. But fuck, man, she's so smart. Like, she realizes what's happened, and she turns over to him, and she goes, rather than like freaking out or whatever, she's like, are you okay? And she's like, you know, can you promise that you won't tell anyone? Like, I'm really embarrassed. You know how judgmental people are. And then because she's like positioning him as the victim and being really sympathetic, he's like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. And she's like, do you want to go back to your house? Like, we can go back to your house. You know, obviously I got, I don't know, something like went too hard last night or whatever. Full like makes her the bad guy. Anyway, so they're driving back and then he pulls over at this gas station to go to the bathroom and he's like, oh, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Do you need anything? She's like, no, I'm fine. I'll just wait here. And when he goes to the bathroom, she sneaks out of the car, runs down to this diner down the road, calls the police, and that's how he gets arrested. Right.
How long was he in the bathroom? Damn.
Facts. Right. But like, to have to be that girl, a teenager, for her to, and like no one should ever have to do this anyway, like this is horrible, but for her to lay there and to have thought of that and do that, like it saved her life. It really did. And then the guy, like the actual story, police let him out on bail.
Of course they did.
And while he was out on bail, guess what he did?
Fucking raped and murdered other people.
Yep, he did. Anyway, there was like back and forth. He ended up in prison. Then the police discovered that he'd like killed multiple women. I think he'd killed a total of 7.
Oh my God.
And he'd raped children and murdered children as well.
Oh my God.
And then he ended up dying in prison.
Deserved. And
like the guy who, this is so nasty, but like him in the movie, so
really
so ugly. Or, and I think it's partly because of the character, but like, or I wanted, every time he came, like the way that he would smile, every time he came up on the screen, I would like,
no thank
vomit
you
in my mouth a little bit.
No thanks.
Like if this man came up to me in real life.
But how'd he win the bloody show then?
Because you don't see them. It's blind dating. It's
of
all, and
it is.
he's very charismatic.
Of course
Look
he
at him.
is. Oh no.
You guys have matching hair.
Yeah, our siblings were dating. Damn.
So, like, interesting story, just fucking really boring. Which is,
yeah.
because I think Anna Kendrick. I went to write Kendrick Lamar. I think she directed it.
Yeah, I think she wrote and directed.
Yeah, and like.
Or directed and starred, I don't know, one of them.
She was phenomenal in it, right? She really was. But it was just so boring and so dry. Yeah. It's not great. So, but I will give the film this. You feel icky the whole time.
Yeah, you
start to
would.
finish. They've done a good job at doing that.
It's like a Lovely Bones type of situation.
Yeah. But it's being like...
gross.
Is being ripped to shreds online by true crime fans because not everything is 100% accurate. Yeah. And like they change a few details, which like it's a film. What do you want me to do? But that's it.
There you go.
And that's all I have.
There you have it.
So watch Love is Blind. Watch Sweet Bobby. Don't watch Woman of the Hour. And then I'm currently reading Notes of an Execution. That's right, everyone. I said I would do it. And then what are you reading?
I am almost finished Hidden Pictures, and then I will also read Notes on an Execution.
So there. We do live up to our promises, folks.
Yep.
It just takes us a minute. And that's it, everyone.
Have a lovely week.
Have the best week. Sun's out.
Sun's out, guns out.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And we'll see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.